my name is Anneleen and I usually make videos on this channel about books, lifestyle, fashion, and also Taylor Swift. And today I'm going to be finishing this hat that I'm crocheting because, you know, it's the middle of January. I feel like I can still get use out of this hat before winter ends, and I really want to finish this. I am following a pattern that I found on Regular. I will link it down below if you want to try it out for yourself. And I'm really liking this pattern. I like the way that this hat is looking at the moment. I also don't have that much wool left, so I don't think that I can make it as big as it is in the pattern, and it might not be as slouchy as it is supposed to be, but I think it'll still be a nice hat. The only thing that I would like for it to do is I want it to fit my hair, because when I bike to work I want my hair out of the way. So anyway, I will just keep going. This is a stitch that took me quite a while to get the hang of, and sometimes I still mess it up. It's a pretty, I mean, it's not complicated, but it just kind of takes a while to master, I would say, and sometimes I still mess up. I can't, like I'm doing right now. I have to make quite a lot of loops, and you have to go through them at the end, but I just usually don't go through them in one go. I have to make like little stops, because otherwise it just doesn't really work for me. I figured that whilst I finished this hat, I would also just kind of have a chill chat with you. So grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea, or a hot chocolate, or whatever you want to make yourself warm with, and just sit back and relax. I will just have a little chat for you. So as I said, it's the middle of January, and I am kind of, you know, doing really well with my New Year's resolutions, I would say. I'm almost finished in my first book of the year. I think technically I'm behind on the amount of books that I should have read by now, but still I feel like I'm doing pretty well. I'm also doing this reading challenge on the Storygraph where I read every day in January, and so far I have managed to read every single day. So I'm very proud of myself, and sometimes it was just one page, but that counts, you know. Usually I read about, I think like the average for me to read on a day is about 20 pages, which isn't a massive number of pages, but that is a lot more. I'm messing up. But it is a lot more than I used to read, so I'm very proud of that. And I'm reading the Song of Achilles. I'm at about page 340, I believe, so I only have about 35 to go, and it is really good. I especially liked the beginning. I feel like the first half so far is the better half. I don't know if those final pages will surprise me, but the first half was really good. It kind of lost me in the middle because, as you might know, Achilles fights in a war, and I don't know. I don't really like action scenes. I don't like them in films. I don't like them in books. I find them really boring, and they don't really grab my attention or keep my attention. So I usually skip those. So when that happened, I decided not to fully skip them, because Madeline Miller really does have a very good writing style, and she makes everything sound so beautiful, but I still felt like I was reading something that I would rather not be reading. So but other than that, it's a really good book, and I'm happy to recommend it to you. I was going to make a reading vlog, but I just kind of forgot to film the beginning stages of my reading, so I didn't really have any of the thoughts that I had at the beginning, and so I didn't want to just film a review without sharing the thoughts, or the authentic thoughts that I had before I started reading. So there is no reading vlog for that book, but I did plan on uploading at least one reading vlog per month, just to give myself some direction. And I will probably make a reading vlog for the next book that I'm reading, which is probably going to be The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by, I forget her name, but I will write it in the video. I got that one for Christmas from my partner, and I'm excited to start reading it. So I actually want to finish the Song of Achilles today so that I can start reading The Seven Husbands soon. New Year's resolutions are going pretty well as well. I did go to the gym twice a week, every week so far. I haven't gone this week because my usual days are on Thursday and Sunday. So Thursday in the evening after work, and then on Sunday before noon. And this Sunday I actually went with a friend, which was really nice because it didn't, it felt kind of like a social thing more than like a thing that I have to do for my health. I actually am enjoying going to the gym. I thought that I would hate it because I hate sports in general. I was never good at any sports. Maybe dancing I liked, but that just kind of, I never was really good at any of the sports that I did. And so I didn't like them and I didn't want to improve in them. And also, like, I learned this year, in 2021, that my legs are just not built as they should be. And so afterwards I was like, well, maybe that's why I didn't like sports, because it must be hard to coordinate your legs when they're not built the way that they should be. So I was actually quite pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed going to the gym. It's just kind of a really chill thing to do, I feel, especially when I'm just working with the weight machines or whatever they're called. I just listen to a podcast and I go for it. The things that I'm doing aren't very impressive. Like, the amount of weight that I'm moving, I would say, isn't anything to write home about, but it's still something that I'm very proud of. It's definitely a lot more sports than I used to do, so that's really good. And I do think that that I am improving already in those 2 weeks. So I hope that I can just keep improving and get rid of this chronic pain that I have, which would be the dream, And I do notice that it has gotten better in those last 2 weeks, but it hasn't, fully healed, I guess, or how you would say it. It hasn't gone away completely. But it is definitely an improvement, and that without any medication, because medication was, I used to rely on medication for my chronic pain, and it worked up to a certain extent, and now I feel like I am kind of at the same level, or maybe a little bit higher, or a better level than when I was using the medication. So without medication, I'm doing better than I was with medication, but it is not, a pain-free life for me yet. But I'm positive that it will keep improving, and even if I do end up spending my entire life with some sort of pain, I feel like it is a lot more manageable, and I have accepted it a little bit more as something that I do have an impact on, because it used to be a thing that happened to me, and I whatever I did, nothing changed, and so that has changed now. So I'm glad about that. And then, of course, this is part of one of my other New Year's resolutions. By the way, if you haven't seen my video about my New Year's resolutions and my goals for 2022, you can watch it up here. It's where I talk about what I want to achieve in 2022. It's very chill. It's nothing too serious, but I am feeling very confident that this year I will be able to stick to my resolutions. Doing this reading challenge that I was talking about earlier, the Reading Every Day in January challenge, right now when I need a distraction, or when I'm watching TV and my boyfriend gets up to go and get something and he asks me to pause the show that we're watching, usually I would grab my phone and just go on the internet, scroll down Instagram or whatever, and now I reach for my book, which is a huge improvement, like, I'm actually getting reading done that way. And even though I can sometimes only read about 1 page at a time that way, it's still really nice to get into that habit of not reaching for your phone but reaching for a book. And I do think that that is the way to go, to spend less time on my phone, even though I still do spend a lot of time on my phone. Also, one of my New Year's resolutions was asking my friends to hang out more, and so far I have asked my friends to hang out once, and I was very proud of that. It was really nice because it was actually really quickly after I had seen them before. So the time in between our two meetups wasn't very long, but my friends were actually very happy that I asked them out, and told me that they were thinking, like, is it too early to ask to hang out again? Which was a thought that occurred to me as well, like, is it too early to hang out again? But it turns out it wasn't, and it was a really good time. So yeah, I feel like I'm bragging about how well I'm doing in life. I will assure you that not everything in my life is going perfectly at the moment. Because one of my resolutions was also to spend a little bit more of a productive time on my videos and plan more ahead of what I wanted to do. But that isn't going the way as I planned. It is Tuesday today, so tomorrow this video needs to be up. I have no idea if I will be able to finish this hat before the video needs to go up, but we'll see what I can do. I will probably end up crocheting this evening as well, and I might film some of that. I hope this doesn't annoy you too much that I can't really watch you while I'm talking. To be fair, in general, I don't really like making eye contact with people, so this is a very genuine way of talking to me. I would say I usually look around the room though, which you might have noticed in previous videos, is I have a very difficult time looking at the camera, and I do have a very difficult time looking at people while I'm talking to them. So that is just a little authentic me. I will finish off this row and then I have to go back to work. Then I will probably see you again later tonight. So it's a bit later in the day. The sun is setting and I need to use the overhead lights, and I try to make sure that you can definitely see me. And as you can see, I'm almost out of yarn, but my hat isn't finished. And also, I only had one ball of yarn in this color because I do thrift my yarn, and there was only one ball of yarn in this color. So I think what I'll do is I'll just finish off this row as well as I can. I hope that I can. I probably won't be able to finish an entire round in this color, but I'll see where we can take things, and then I will probably switch to a different color because I feel like I'm very nearly done. I think the only thing that I still really need to do is like diminish the amount of stitches, and then I can sew this shut. And I was thinking that I'm messing things up again. I was thinking that if I have to change colors right at the very end of my hat, I might just add a little pom-pom to make it seem as if it is deliberate. But we will see how that goes. I might just kind of keep going doing this with a different color and adding more rows so that the difference between the amount of dark blue and the different color isn't as big. The reason that I don't have more than one ball of wool in this color is because I thrift, and I thrift because I want to buy as little things new as possible, I try to buy all of the things that I need secondhand. I sometimes make exceptions for things. For example, this pair of jeans, I find thrifting jeans very, very difficult. Whenever I go through a thrift store, I look at the jeans and I can never find any pair that fits me. So I caved and I paid for new jeans. But it is by the brand Armed Angels, which is supposed to be a sustainable brand. And I think they use recycled cotton, things like that, or maybe organic cotton. I'm not entirely sure. I used to know, but I just forgot. And things like gifts, I would probably buy firsthand instead of secondhand, depending on who I'm giving something. But other than that, I really want to keep buying things secondhand, like especially clothes, books, things like that, furniture, and also yarn. I've discovered that you can find lots of yarn in my local thrift stores, which is really nice, but you know, the downside is of course that it is very hard to come by a large amount of the same color, because you can't really order them again once you've run out. So that's kind of like the only disadvantage. I think for small projects that's not too bad, but for bigger projects it might be a little difficult, because I was thinking of like making a whole cardigan, but then again, this is only a hat and it took a full ball of yarn and more. So I'm not entirely sure how I would get around that, because I really, really do not want to buy new yarn. I just want to use resources that are available, you know. I tend to not buy a lot of things in general. I'm definitely not a minimalist, but I just think really hard about everything I buy. I have items in my vintage favorites for literal weeks before I buy them, unless I really, really love it. But then I'm just very happy that I buy it, because I do tend to use the things that I buy. I don't like buying things if I'm not going to use them. Occasionally I will buy something and like, I will definitely use this, and I end up not using it and I hate it. I hate it when that happens, because it just feels like a waste of money. It feels like a waste of space, especially of resources, of time, and I just feel very uncomfortable. People, like, I once was at a store with a friend, and you know, I do like some funky socks. I do like some socks with a nice pattern or with glitters or whatever. I do like that. And so I was at the store with my friend, and I like shopping, but what I like about shopping is not the aspect of buying things, but it's just looking at things and maybe trying something on. I have a really good time doing that, just window shopping. So I was at the store with my friend, and they had like a little rack of nice looking socks, and my friend was like, "Don't look, you will be tempted to buy them." I'm like, "No, I will not. I will never be tempted to buy socks. Like, I might, when I need socks, I will probably buy funky ones, but I'm not in need of socks right now, so I'm not gonna buy socks." It's like, no, I don't. I feel like I'm really good at not buying things that I don't need. It only happens occasionally that I will regret buying something. Oh no, look at that! We're not done with this row. We've gotten pretty far though, but I don't think we will be able to get to here. So this is the distance that I still would need to go with this color. So what I think I'll do is I'll just switch it up, you know? I mean, luckily for me, I don't really care about what other people think about my outerwear. Like, I've been wearing the same coat for 7 years, the same winter coat. I own one winter coat. I have owned only one winter coat in that time. It's the one I wear. Same with my hat. I have one hat. It is the one that I always wear, and I've worn it for 6 years now, but it is kind of losing its shape, and it is I feel like it is time for a replacement, so that's why I'm making this one. But I just want to feel warm, you know? So I think it'll be fine. It'll make for a less, you know, aesthetic video, I know, but I hope that you are not only here for the aesthetics, but also just for the chill time and the nice chats. So yeah, if you like that, please give this video a like. Wow, look at me being a YouTuber, and subscribe while you're at it. I'm very proud of the things that I make on this channel, so I would happily share it with you. We'll just leave it at this, and then I'll take you with me to decide which color the next part of this hat is going to be. This is where I keep my yarn and my embroidery stuff. So we've got this lovely light blue. We have this red. It's actually really nice, but I have multiple balls of yarn of this one, so I was hoping to save these for a bigger project. Also, like, the yarn is like very, like, I don't know how you would say it, but it's like very fuzzy and it makes it difficult to work with. So I would prefer not to work with this. I just have a plain white as well. I think this one might be best. Then we have the pink one, but you know, it looks a little bit more salmon, but it actually is very pink. So I think it should be one of those, not the red one. And here we have a black. So this is all the yarn that I own. So it's not a lot. I don't have lots of options. So, I mean, I feel like the black is definitely, it could work, but I feel like it is a little bit too dark. And the light blue, I don't know. I'm not convinced. I think the white is probably the way to go here. Yeah, we'll go with the white. Okay. So we're back with the white. I feel like this yarn has like a similar width or diameter is probably a better word, as like the blue one. So I think it should work fine on that regard. And I always forget how to change colors. I think I could just add a loop and pretend like this is just the same string. Okay, we've got it. We've successfully changed colors. And I have to admit, this looks sort of strange. But trust the process. We'll see where this goes. I mean, I do like the effect it gives. It looks pretty cool, actually. It does. You know, crafting is a traditionally feminine thing or pastime, I would say. Because you have arts and crafts, and arts are masculine and crafts are feminine. And while I'm crocheting, I'm like, look at me being a woman. And at the same time, I'm like, why don't boys crochet? This is really nice. And also, I'm just not very good at art. So crafts, it is. I would say I'm pretty good at crafts. I don't think I would be good at, you know, coming up with my own patterns, or not yet. Maybe in the future I would, if I got a better understanding of how the stitches interact with each other and things like that. But I feel like there's always been such a, like, crafts are always lesser than arts, right? For some reason. But crafts, I feel like I really am a good crafter. Like, I'm not the most creative person person. I would say I'm like a very averagely creative person. I don't have a very active imagination. I don't feel the need to express myself with songs or paintings or things like that, or maybe like dance. But crafts, man, crafts are just really nice. It's so rewarding to make something with your hands. And it doesn't have to be artistic. It can just be a thing that you made, you know. And that is why I wanted to hone my crocheting skills, because it does give me fulfillment. And I don't like to buy a lot of things, but I do like to own a lot of things. So I just want to have clothing items that I make, and be able to tell everyone I made this. So yeah, I went off a little tangent there, but I guess that's what this video is all about. Just having a relaxing chat. Also, I talked about my resolutions earlier. What are your resolutions? How are you holding up? I know that January is only halfway. Is it working out for you? How are you feeling? I'm also not really sure if you like this kind of content. I certainly do. I just like listening to people talk. This is probably something that I would listen to while like cooking or cleaning or things like that. So I hope that is what you are doing right now. Or maybe you're just literally very attentively watching me and looking at how I do this. I really want to get better at video making, and I really want to improve that skill, but I always feel like I have such a short time to make something, and even though I sometimes have ideas for weeks on end, I just kind of tend to procrastinate until I don't have enough time to make that particular video, because it is too ambitious to make in like a couple of hours. So that is why I really wanted to plan ahead a little bit more, and I hope that you will see the benefits of that soon. But so far I haven't been planning ahead well, so we'll see how that goes. Because you know what I like about YouTube is just the people, you know. Some people they can talk about literally anything and I will watch it. One of these people is Ariel Bissett. She is like one of my favorite YouTubers. She has a booktube channel. She talks about books a lot, but in the last few years she has kind of branched out to other content as well. She made a documentary about Instagram poetry. She made a documentary about bookstores, independent bookstores, and now she has a whole series on her channel where she is renovating her house that she bought in Nova Scotia, and it is so lovely. Like, her content right now is amazing. And like, while renovating a house is completely different than talking about books, I want to watch it all because I just really like the way that she makes videos, the way that she talks. She is a very eloquent speaker. Like, she barely uses jump cuts. She just kind of forms a sentence in her head, and it, you know, it just flows really well, as opposed to my sentences. I have to cut and paste so much whilst editing. It is truly annoying. Sometimes I'm like, please, Anneleen, just make a sentence make sense. Although I feel like this video might not be too difficult to edit, because I don't really mind that there are some ums thrown in. That is also like, I try to edit out all of the ums and the sighs and the me taking a breath before I speak. Like, usually I would cut out the and there we go. But that is something that Ariel doesn't really do. I feel like if she probably stumbles a lot more over her words, I guess that she would cut it out. But there are definitely ums and giggles and things like that, and that's what I like about her videos. It isn't all polished, it sounds very natural. It's just like having a conversation with a friend. And I also think that she has just kind of the ability to make sure that whatever she says is deliberate. So like, I tend to speak very slowly and leave lots of pauses between words because I am trying to make like a decent sentence that makes sense, and she doesn't really do that. It just comes out really naturally, and yeah, she's just an inspiration. And I try to not mimic her videos, but her videos are definitely a big inspiration for the kind of content that I make and the way that I present it. So if you like this video and the other videos that I've made before, then I am sure that you will also enjoy Ariel Bissette's content. So I'm in my last round. I've started diminishing, so the hat is, almost a hat. I'm not sure how I like this amount of white. I guess we'll see what it looks like when we finish this one. And I don't know, I might like it a lot. I'm not sure. So this is now a different technique. What was really lovely about this project is that all of the stitches that I did were new except for the first bit. So I did it. So at first I was like, nice, this is easy, this is something I can do. And then it got suddenly very hard. But after a little bit of practice, it came easy to me. So this is, this has been a very educational experience. I'm very glad that I decided to do this. I have made a previous crocheting video. In that one, I couldn't talk and crochet at the same time because I was just too focused on doing the right stitches. So I'm very happy about the improvement on that regard. Well, now this is starting to look very strange, I have to admit, but maybe it'll look really good once it's completely finished. This is what it looks like at the moment. I will show you up close. I think it looks really cute. This is what it looks like. I really like the shape of this. And so I just need to sew this shut. I'm not sure how to do that. I don't have a crochet needle. So what I usually just do is I use my crochet hook to sew, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. Hi, this is me in the mirror. I wanted to try this on before sewing it shut, and I realized it's just too small. I'll have to undo these last 2 rounds where I did the diminishing and add a few more normal rows so that it is tall enough. And then I can just sew it shut at the top and do the diminishing again. Isn't this just so satisfying to see it all go? Goodbye, goodbye. So it's the next day and I'm almost finished. I'm also almost out of yarn. So I will start diminishing now and see what it looks like, and then we're done. So this is exciting. I'm not sure how well this will turn out. I'm a little bit scared, to be honest. But we'll see how it goes. It's too late now to go back. And if I really don't like it, then I can always just kind of unravel it and use my yarn for something else. And then I still will have learned all the things that I've learned doing this. So there's truly nothing bad that can happen. sometimes I wonder if I should bring my crochet projects to the gym. Because, you know, when I'm doing my leg exercises, I've got my hands free, so maybe I could crochet while I'm at the gym, but at the same time I need to count the amount of times that I do a certain exercise, and I also need to count the stitches sometimes, so maybe that isn't the best idea, because I will just lose track of the numbers very, very quickly. I already lose track of the amount of times that I've done an exercise while I'm at the gym, so maybe it isn't the best idea. Also, I think I would get strange looks. I don't think that people would necessarily care, but I guess that some people would look at it and be like, why is she doing that? I'm trying to think of how many hours I've put into this hat. It is a lot. I think it takes me about, I think it takes me about 20 minutes to finish a row with these stitches. So this one should be quicker because I'm skipping stitches and the stitch is just less complicated in general. And now I suddenly understand why handmade things cost so much. Because this took ages and it's just a simple hat, and I've seen patterns of dresses and cardigans and dresses and cardigans and, you know, just full-on clothing items, whereas this is just like a simple winter hat. All that remains now is to sew this shut like this, and then we can try it on. I don't know how to actually do this. This is it. I've made it. I finished it. I think it looks pretty good up top, to be honest. I thought it would look worse. And let's try it on. I have to admit, I did try it on earlier and it looks kind of strange, but it fits. So I can wear it with my bangs out, which I think is important. I mean, it does kind of look weird that you do see some of the white. Because when I look like this, you can't see it. But then when I like turn, this is what it looks like. Does that look good? I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't seen it from the back. So there we go. And I can fit all of my hair in. So I'm happy about that. This is really useful from when I'm cycling and I need my ears to be warm and my hair to be protected. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below what some of your New Year's resolutions were. How are you holding up? Do you want to get into crocheting? It's a really fun hobby, so I do recommend it. And also please consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. I upload every Wednesday and I will see you next week. Bye!